Folks, welcome. Those watching live, I hope you will smile at the fact that I'm about to repeat myself ever so slightly. I think it's important to do so because there's got some very high stakes involved in every single set here. And Dark coming into this tournament was probably not expected to start as hot as he did. He started off amazing. He was up against the Viper and he won 2-1. So Dark now, if he beat Viper, maybe looking at Valas thinking that he could win 3-0. And we still have some big question marks. The series after this will actually be Viper versus Heart, who everyone thinks will be top 2 in this group. So exciting times for Dark. Dark's been playing competitive AoE for like 8 years or something. He's 20 years old. Yeah. And so I think like people just don't think of Dark as like this new up and coming talent, this young talent. Because he's been around for so long. But what I've seen with him over the last year is a lot of strategic improvement, a lot more consistency at times as well. So he's here playing as the Huns. He actually moves forward very early, and he's definitely trying to lame Valas here. Then Valas is playing as the Japanese, and with Valas, he got... No way Dark is stealing this. What? No way he's actually trying that. I just assumed he would never... Well, Valas saw this immediately, and now it's a matter of can he block the scout and who can click the fastest, and it looks like Dark can actually click the fastest. We'll see if Dark can bring this all the way home. He's got to stay close to that boar, and there's the boar vision, and there just for a second, the boar went out of the line of sight, and so Dark ends up getting away with the scout, doesn't end up getting the boar. Nice shot from Valas to prevent the lame. That's crazy to me. That actually goes back to my mindset with Dark. Like, I think there's a lot of confidence right now. And the fact that he didn't hesitate on that in the slightest is pretty wild. Like, he doesn't think... He never thought there was a risk he would lose his scout. He really thought he could get away with that. And get away with that, he does not. So, Valas played well in Titans League in the past, but he hasn't been quite as active in other events over the last few months. So, I did predict him to be in the bottom 2 in this group. But he got a win off of Andy, which was a solid enough start. He avoided the sweep. And so I'm curious to see how he plays today. Like, I'm already feeling very good on Dark. He had a very sharp level, and he got 2 wins versus Viper. I'm wondering if Valas will bring us an even higher level here. Now Valas goes to deny the dock, and Dark with the quick walls. That was crazy, dude. I mean, speaking of Viper, right? Viper's kind of the standard when it comes to the quick walls. And like, that was Viper-esque right there. Crazy from Dark. So he kills Viper in 2 games. And I don't know, did like the skills transfer when you conquer somebody? Do you just immediately become them? That was ridiculous. Like, he waited to the final second. And then boom, boom. Double Palisade. I actually kind of want to replay that. But now, Valas could end up losing the scout. And I think the scout... Yeah, the scout goes down. Wow, dude. Okay, so we actually have an opportunity. I think that's worth a replay. Let me go back. And let's just watch this in real time. With max zoom. Like, boom, boom. That's crazy. Villager's almost dead. That is just crazy. I could slow-mo that and it would still seem really fast. So, Dark with a good start there. His Vil survives. He... has his scout around, and scouting is really important on this map. To know where the opponent is docking, to prevent any villagers from going out to build docks elsewhere, to know what the openings can be as well. This matchup, the strength of the Japanese is their early flexibility. And I would say, against the Huns in particular, if they're able to go for the man-at-arm opening, it can be tough for the Huns to defend. Okay, so hold on. Valas is hoping to sneak an early feudal with a dock here, it feels like. And so Dark has brought that scout home. And so he's just pushing in that deer. I think Dark will naturally try and scout the front of Valas' base. So he's not going to see this, but Valas... Bro! This is supposed to be a sneak. Okay, so he sees the straggler trees. Did Dark see that Vil? He was going to walk directly into the TC. It's honestly... It was a bad direction to go in the first place, but it's great awareness to realize that was where the opponent's TC was. And I don't think Dark actually... I I can't tell if Dark is looping the scout around to look, or if Dark is going to push more deer here. Huns want to get into full wall at some point so they can be free and clear and go for cav archers. I think Dark is probably expecting men-at-arms. And he might also be expecting... Oh my god, I forgot about this strat. So Dark has built palisades on the shoreline to block dock foundations. This is something Dark and Mihai did in Hidden Cup qualifiers, well, almost a year ago now. And so the thing is, he's expecting the dock to come from this side, but the dock, sorry for blinking the fog of war, the dock is actually coming from this side. So Dark thinks he's fine. He thinks all the pressure will come from a different direction. And now Valas is up. And this will be a pretty smooth start for Valas considering not having the scout. He's also walled up to the shoreline, so he can't be forward docked. The other thing about Japanese, too, is they don't necessarily need to be concerned about being docked, because if they are, they're Japanese. Their fishing ships survive. They have time to figure it out. Okay, so Dark noticed this. And so now Dark will go into 2 docks. And Valas will just have that one fire on the front. And at home, he builds the barracks. So, an interesting start. I mean, it feels like Dark is going to build an archery range here in a second. I think we'll have the same from Valas. That'll take a little bit of time for payoff. Valas doesn't know that Dark is here with 2 docks. But, you know, recently, ever since we saw that fake forward dock play from Nikov, I don't know how many other people have been thinking about that, but I'm beginning to think more and more that that might be an actual strat in these scenarios. Obviously, killing the fish is huge. A scout just getting attacked there almost goes down, but we may see more fake, like, forward docks in the future on this map, because this is big investment from Dark to defend. For now, though, he's already lost a fish. He's already slowed down with any land presence he might want, and Valas has found a really nice position here. So, nice micro from Dark to move over here so the dock doesn't block any of the fires. And important timing here. A fire is about to pop out for Valas. I think he's going to lose his fire, though. If he gets a kill, he'll still probably be happy with this, and he should. Yeah, so that's at least 1 for 1. Valas maintains his control there. Wow, it's actually stable opening from Dark, which Valas knows now because he sees a brand new scout. And so it'll be scouts, it'll also be archers, and then there's also the fires to look at as well. So, and people watching right now, they can't even balance out munching on their snacks and watching the games. There's crumbs all over someone's desk right now. These guys have to combine archers, scouts, and fish and fires, and it's just such a tough map to play, right? And I think for Valas, he's obviously doing well on water, but he's got some massive concerns on land against the scout opening. You know, I wasn't actually expecting the scout opening. It felt a little bit more realistic to go archers first, but I'm loving this from Dark. And look at the presence this brings him. It denies the walls from Valas, obviously, and he's immediately diving on villagers. Like, there's zero hesitation for him. That'll be another Vil snipe. But it also gives him access to control the sides. This scout scouted the left-hand side, where he's got a Vil headed over now. And this week's scout is also scouting the right-hand side. Valas does have a lot of resources banked up, and Valas still has these docks here, though. But Valas does not seem super interested on making a move for the other fish in the other ponds here, so I like how Dark's transitioned into some farms. It feels like the perfect amount on berries. And there was a nice hit there from Valas. I think we just missed a demo. My apologies. So much stuff to look at. But Valas killed 2 fish. Valas killed 2 fish, and he's got 7 fish in this pond with Japanese. So that's why his food count's rising so much. And he still has a little bit of work to do to full wall, but that seems to be the plan. Good luck, though. That's villager number 3 Dark is killed. And Dark pushes Valas completely off of the berries now. So this is a really fun game so far. It's quite close. If it wasn't Japanese for Valas, I would feel worse about his position. But when you have those safe fishing ships in the south, things should be pretty good for you. Oh, man, but he just lost his skirms he produced here to the scouts. It's still wild, though, right? The KD is 10 to 10. And, oh, that's a massive demo for Valas. And if he brings another demo over, he might clear up everything, actually. Oh, yeah, he could kill both of those. Or the Vil. Oh, that's worth it. You kill a ship and you kill the Vil. Archers are here now with Dark. He's got a dock on the left. Did Valas pass that with the Vil? Ooh, Valas missed it. Okay. There's also a dock over here for Dark. And now Valis' resources aren't looking quite as exciting as they were before. He had like 500 food, but he needs more spears, he needs more skirms, and he's off of berries and he doesn't have farms. Dark has farms, Dark has berries, so Dark might have less fish, but it evens out a little bit. And Valis is essentially one water up here for now, but he can't fish here. And so, nice job from Dark to at least maintain some presence here. A lot of people would give this up, but he knows that Valis wants to take those fish. And so he's still trying to maintain control here. Good repairs. And then, as that happens, Valis is taking a better fight than he's been taking on land for a while. It's funny how this game's been so even, right? Like, when someone's taking a good fight on water, they're taking a bad fight on land, and vice versa here. Yeah, this is still completely fine for Valis. That scout's not going to have a lot of value. And this is still completely fine for Dark, because his opponent is in fishing. Dark just spotted this house, so he now knows his opponent's over here. Now, he doesn't know the dock is there, but he started to produce a fire galley, which is important. Valis will have to react to that. But as things develop here, it does seem to be a better situation for Dark. He's got 600 more res collected. His resource balance has been incredible, guys. It was the same when he played against Viper. He'd find the attacks timely, and then he'd have the perfect balance behind it. And this should be a 50-50 boxing match. It almost feels like Dark is going to win that for whatever reason. Oh, and the fire comes in. That's cheating. Interference. But, yeah, Dark wins the fight. Dark will be on top of the fish. Dark is on the way to Castle Age here. And Valis very close to clicking up. But his food eco is what I'm worried about. Eventually, he's going to have to move into some fish traps here. I think if he gets the full walls down right now and can focus a little bit on fish trapping, things are still going to be okay. Oh, man, he's trying to sneak a Vil to the left side. But the army from Dark is moving over here. Oh, yikes. Now, those are very weak scouts. The Vils, if they notice that, could actually deal with it. But I don't think Valis was able to notice it. And, oh, man, disaster for Valis. He wanted a Vil over to the left side. And this army gets such crazy value for Dark. It feels like having the walls down was the most important thing for Valis right now, so he could compete on water. I knew it was going to be rough for him in Castle Age against the Huns, but with these archers getting through now, this is tough. Obviously, he doesn't get over here at all, which is what he wanted. And Dark is going to take full advantage of that. Another villager is killed. 21 seconds of TC idle time for Dark. He's got 3 docks. He's got the TPD, the Triple Pawn Domination. So I guess this isn't technically domination, but it's just fun to say. And he'll reach Castle Age now with Knights on the way, Cav Archers on the way. I'm sure Eco's going to be flying. Like, this is such a good position, man. Also, he even outposted here. So he wouldn't be surprised by that. Valis was about to sneak a dock and get spotted. Dude, this is just amazing. Dark's playing incredible. I don't want to get too excited too early. But Dark has shown top 3 performance in this group so far. This is only second round. But, like, this has been super smooth play. And I felt it was important to even clarify multiple times, like, when he beat Viper, that, sure, people are going to want a little bit more from Viper here in the group stage. I'm sure Viper can step it up a little bit, but it wasn't about Viper not delivering as much as it was Dark just bringing a crazy level. Archers got the value. They go down. But man, will they be remembered. And now Knights and Cav Archers are all around the map. War Galley upgrade comes in for Valas. He's still trying to hold on to whatever control he can in this pond, but I don't think he will. And he's also still trying to hold on to whatever control. Look at that from Dark, though. He split. I think, yeah, he splits up the fires there, so they're not grouped up against a demo. I just don't know how Valas is supposed to defend from here. Like, how are you supposed to have any chance against this much action in your base? He'll kill the knight. He drops a TC. That's actually pretty creative. To protect the wood line. Re-walls it there. But everywhere you look, there's just another army coming in that you have to deal with. Dark microing the CA. Knight's still not through. Demo landed, wasn't enough. Doc goes down over here. Dark TC number 2. Dark also has a Vil somewhere getting stoned because he made some outposts and he needs the stone for the next TC. This is crazy, man. Like, Valas is just... He's just a couple steps behind here. And he calls the GG, realizes he doesn't have enough here. Dark wins game number 1. Dark is looking incredible, dude. And like, it's very easy for people to look at this and be critical of Valas right now. But guys, it was clear, right? He wanted full walls. He wanted to dominate the water. So he started his whole approach based on water. And Dark was able to get to some of the ponds faster than him. Dark was able to have just enough land presence. And that's also why people pick the Huns. The thing that I like a lot of people with Huns, they full wall and they play defensive. And then they have problems. Dark is like, why should I do that on this map? There's so much benefit for me to be active with armies. And he was truly everywhere here. I also think, generally speaking, his skill set is a little bit more mobility than Valas. So Dark 3 wins out of 4 games so far. 2 more games to happen here. I can't say much more about that play, dude. That's just clean. It's so fun to watch Huns and watch Cross be played like that. Like, that is what the map is designed to be. Many players will still aim for the defensive styles and the fish traps and not playing for map control. But that is like textbook Cross right there. 2,000 more food collected, 1,000 more gold collected, more wood as well. And you see pretty dominant victory there for Dark. So, Dark looked amazing in game number 1. But now we go into Valas' territory. And Valas, when he played against Freakin' Andy in the first round, it was somewhat similar where he got a little bit outplayed in game number 1. He lost. Then we went to game number 2, and he won on fortified clearing. So this is a really important victory for Valas. The other thing, too, you got to remember, so Valas played Freakin' Andy first. Now he's playing Dark. This means future opponents in the group would be Daniel, which is probably quite close, and then Viper and Hart, which are definitely going to be, they're going to be better shape at the tail end of the group stage, and they are definitely better players there. So in terms of survival, like, Valas needs to be winning the sets against Dark, against Andy, and against Daniel. I would say that even just 1 win here today and not 2 would put his chances quite low to survive the group. Now he's gone for Burgundians, which is just super sick. Cheaper eco upgrades, and age earlier, and the cheap stable upgrades. And that just makes the Dark Age so much better for them. Dark has gone Hindustanis. And so Hindustani late game is what you want to get to, ultimately. Their late game can compete with anybody. But because of what happened in Wandering Warriors Cup 2 with Hindustanis on Grapple, and because of how much food income he has right now, and the fact he hasn't gone to wood, I think Dark is going to try and fight on the outside. Also, Dark could steal a boar. Whoa. So Dark tried to lame the first game. Oh, man, that's crazy. Valas is just taking his sheep. He thinks everything's fine. Usually players are pushing deer and just going fast castle. If this boar makes it home for Dark and he goes feudal age pressure, this could be really difficult for Valas. I mean, he was just not expecting that. If you're expecting that possibility, you maybe take that boar a little bit earlier. Obviously, it's also a big risk with Dark, too. Like, if you go forward to lame like that, you're not always going to get that boar. But the theme has been, he's showing up to play, dude. He's showing up to play. 40 bucks per win. Every win counts. And Dark is laughing his way back to his base right now with this board. That really affects the Burgundians. Like, the Burgundians are strong if they have their resources in Dark Age, if they're uninterrupted. It's not like there's a way you can recover that much food. Your typical build that we've been talking about, you have both your boars and all your deer. So this isn't Arabia where you're only going to push a deer or two maybe before the action begins. Now, he's got to adapt this a little bit. So he will definitely need more farms. Now, that should mean that Valas is in the Dark Age for a little bit longer. Has to invest into the farms. So I actually wouldn't hate it if Dark went forward with Vils and went scouts and archers and just tried to play aggressive here. The Hindustani scouts break through so quickly. I think that could be a really legitimate play. But he's not going to do it. You shift this much to wood at this time. This is just you going for a fast castle. But 3 boars, all the deer. And yeah, now walls from Dark, so Dark's going to go fast castle. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, if we've got a fast castle, I can open up the questions and say, what's up the chat? I was really going to dive into the complexities of the attack that could happen, but I don't think we'll see it. We'll probably just chill in. And if there's any civ that could recover from this, it would be Burgundians, right? Marvinsky, thanks for the year. He says, sub for a year, says, I'm stopping giving any money going to Amazon going forward. If there's another way to support you, I will do that. Oh, okay. I got you. I mean, the best way to support it, to support the channel is through Patreon. And you can set whatever amount you want to. So, you could set $1. You could set $1 billion if you really wanted to do that. 90% goes towards the creator. Subs here, obviously, there's a lot of benefits on the platform. 70% comes towards me, which is still really good. And obviously, you know, it is also really encouraging. But if you want to switch it up, dude, Patreon's the way to go. Technically. You could technically do, like, donations through Streamlabs as well, which pop up on stream, and I can thank you. So either one's good. Whatever works for you, dude. Thank you, Yoda, for the 3 months. Mr. Pop, thanks for the 2. Thank you, guys. Did I miss anybody? I think I missed Smallhead gifting this up. Thank you, Smallhead. So the boar means that, oddly enough, it's a weird thing to say because Valas lost food, but that actually means that he will spend more food on vills. I think you have to add an extra vill or 2, and then you're adding an extra farm or 2, and I think you could still figure this out. But we'll see if he adapts his build nicely. The Dark's on the way up a little bit faster. The Dark Scout is also weaker. That's important to mention because he stole the boar. But I think the plan here is probably to go scouts and make monks. So if you make the monks, you can just heal up that scout, assuming that scout can get home. And he did build a gate here. And he built a gate here as well. And he also built his barracks. So he's clearly going to go for the stable build. So we'll see. There's actually 0 relics on this side, interestingly enough. And Dark went that way when he stole the boar. So if that's the case, I mean, you're probably assuming there's going to be a relic or 2 there. But sometimes on this map, this will happen. We've tried to balance it, but it's just because of the spawning of certain resources, it tends to vary at times. So it's 4 relics on the outside. Usually it's like 3 and 1 or 2 and 2. This time it's 4 and 0 because it's just in the north. And then there's 5 in the middle. It looks like these relics are just ever so slightly closer to Valas too. So you wouldn't normally have 9 farms. You'd normally have like 5. And normally you wouldn't be at 350 food without any vills in queue either. This definitely slows down Valas' build. There's no doubt about it. That boar steal is a big deal here. What's your cut from Streamlabs? I forget the cut that Streamlabs takes. They do take a cut, and then PayPal takes some cuts as well. I really should look that up. It's not, like, significant, like, you know, it's not, like, 50% or anything like that. It is based on the amount, too. Like, so if you donate $1, I think it's, like, 30 cents plus a percentage. So if you donate $1, 30 cents of that goes towards the processor, and then plus 5% or something, so yeah, like, I had someone donate 50 cents back in the day, and I don't even know. I think I removed the threshold, so you couldn't do that. Like, donating 50 cents to a streamer means they get, like, 10 cents. So, Exuberance, hello, says, hey, T90, been watching on YouTube for years. First time watching on Twitch. You've gotten my husband totally hooked on this game. Thanks, T90, nice. Yo, salutes in chat. Let's go. That's sick. I love that. Well, Dark has had a great opening here. This has been really nice. The best way to slow down the Burgundians is to hit them early. And so he did that in his own creative way. But Valas clicks up. And Valas still has nice res collected compared to his opponent and can still make scouts to compete for the map control. This will give Dark a bit of an edge with certain upgrades. Like Light Cav, Husbandry, the Monastery TCs. The thing about Dark, though, guys, is in certain matchups, he actually prefers the closed maps. Like, if he were to play a top 5 player, let's say, that doesn't necessarily like the closed maps, he would definitely value this. But I don't categorize him in the clown category, you know? He's super well-rounded. Which is just the perfect type of player if you want to see new names rise to the top. You can just, like, I don't know if you guys can pick up on it, but I can see confidence as well. Like, when players are uncertain or scared of the moment, you could tell in how they address situations and how they play. Dark is, like, always being active. Always feeling like he's in the positive position. Even if he's not. And right now, his scouts are in a decent numbers in the middle. I don't love this TC position. That TC position's kind of odd to me. And also, he shifted all of his vills off gold right now, so he's not actually making a monastery. But with no gold income, he would only be able to make 1 monk. So he could get the Light Cav upgrade, and then he could make 1 monk with that gold, and that's it. So maybe he doesn't actually add the monastery. Maybe he just wants... Wow, we have double monastery from Valas right now? Yeah, I think Dark is just like... I gotta outboom him somehow, because he's Burgundians. Let's just prevent him from getting the relics, and I don't necessarily have to take the relics. So... Venka, hello, says, I've been watching games on and off in Platinum and see a lot of excitement for this season. He says, the results seem somewhat expected. Maybe the Viper loss. What's been the standout compared to Season 3? I would disagree that the results have been somewhat expected. Platinum's still super early, but it depends how you look at it, right? Like, I would say it's unexpected that Nikop played so well, beat Hera in the first game. I would say it's unexpected that Dark beat Viper, which I think you mentioned. Thinking about some of the other results, some people would say it's unexpected that Daniel beat freaking 82-1. Dragonstar getting a win off of Yo also is not something many people would have predicted. Overall, I think it's been, you know, maybe like 80% expected, 20% not. But like Sebastian 3-0ing Doubt and also 3-0ing Yo. Like 20% unexpected results is really, really high for our scene. And I think the other thing is, if you're off 20% in this format, you're out, potentially. Like, that has everlasting consequences to your group format. And here comes Dark. And Dark says, hello, snipes the monk, moves away. Look at the Vil lead he's gained for himself here. Again, he delayed the monastery. But honestly, I think what's so hyped about it too, like the start's been great, but the games have more significance and get more hype as the groups progress too. So, it's been a really solid start to the season so far. Gold has also had more upsets than I was expecting, which is another conversation. But I also like Season 3 did have some pretty big standouts, but I forget now. So it's hard for me to compare it while I'm looking at another game. We could talk about that, though. Dark does not kill that monk. And so now the thought starts to creep in to your head if you're Dark. Now you're like, well, should I have been getting these relics? You've gained the 10 villager lead. You're pulling ahead in resources collected. But Valas is on 3 TCs now as well. Great eco upgrades, and he's getting all the relics in the middle. And he also has lots of map control. So this map control and forgive me, I've been fighting off a sneeze for like 2 minutes. It might just come out of nowhere. This map control is really helpful. If Dark has a lead, he can't really take the map control with that lead if all these Lycav are out there. I see a monk from Valas looking for relics. Dark has 2 of his scouts up here and will not allow that to happen. And so that should be a dead Vil. And that's a dead Vil, and then also there was a conversion there from Dark. But 3 relics is huge. Probably at least 5 for Valas. All the relics in the middle will be his. Chat said dead Vil. What happened? What happened to a Vil? I might have missed something. There's a dead monk. Dead monk, but that relic is on the doorstep for this monk, so that monk should still probably get it. You said dead Vil instead of dead monk. Oh, well, you guys didn't know that when that guy retired from being a villager, he became a monk? There were some very compromising moral situations at his job. And after 20 years of working there and making lots of money, he decided to feel better about himself. He needed to become a monk so he would be let into heaven. So you guys just didn't know the backstory there, but that was the situation. I didn't have time to break that down. Dark running away now. But he doesn't have any relics, man. He's 4 TCs, not a single relic. So he is now on the timer. He's got a kill. Well played from Valas here. Very smooth eco. Look at his resources, too. Valas is going to click him faster. Now, he may feel, due to the matchup, that the Hindustanis are actually superior, too. So he may actually feel himself that he needs to kill pretty quickly, even though he has the relics. When there's 30k gold, 10k stone on the map, and there's areas to fight all the time, you're not looking at 5 relics as your win condition as much as you would on maybe Arena. And I think we'll see the click up for Valas. I also like this move, adding the 4th TC. I would like to see Valas actually stonewall the outsides now. If you're going to fast imp push the middle, a stonewall here feels very natural. I know he'll do it. It's Valas, so he'll do it. He'll do it. Can you imagine if he did it right when I said it? Oh, points. Give me points. Be impressed. Be impressed, people. There we go. And then, so that side's going to be walled up. I don't think he needs to go for the crazy forward wall here because there's so much army activity from Dark. You might just want to play it safe and just double fortify behind that. Yeah, this is all really textbook here from Dark. And from Valas, sorry, who's who I meant to say. Wow, now look at this. So you're up against Hindustanis here. Ooh, wall gets delayed. There might be some army from Dark coming as well. That's a rather big deal. Ooh, and Dark's going to forward wall. Oh, man, he's going to go for an even further. Oh, my God, he can't decide. He cannot decide. This is too greedy, man. That is way too greedy. I mean, it was already going to be tough to complete your walls in the first place. Valas is obviously going to bring some army here. So Dark was like, I've got him right where I want him. I've got 2 Lycav, and now Valas has 4. There's still action to look at in the middle. But what I just wanted to point out is Valas clicked Cavalier. So he's actually going to go Paladin. This is just a mind game. The Camel player is never expecting the opponent to go Paladin into that. So they're probably thinking like hand cannons. Is the play hand cannon Halb? But Valas says, screw it. Paladin's half off. Paladin's still Paladin, right? And I'm going to apply pressure here. And there's such a big difference in the imp times now. Now, this is still a factor on the outside, as is this. These Lycav could potentially break through that gate. And, oh, man, Dark, I think he spotted Cavalier, so he added a camel, but that gets converted. Now a forward castle from Valas, and oh, my God, it's a Hodor situation. The camel, betraying his people, is attacking the gate, and those Cavalier go right in. Oh, my goodness, what a play from Valas. This is so tough for Dark now. I mean, maybe he denies the castle. I kind of doubt it. Valas blocks it off. gets the house walls down, brings in the spears. The Cavalier are through. The Cavalier are fine kills. They will die, but still, this is really good harassment. There's still this to look at, though. The fact that Valas didn't wall up the sides is the biggest deal for him right now. Had he got those walls down, we'd have a very different situation, and he's clearly focused on his raids. The Cavalier were spread out into the back. Dark will hold. Dark has camels now. And Dark's like have killed 4 Vills, and Dark also gets a very forward wall down. So now, like, I'm not really sure what to say, because Dark can actually freely raid this area all the time. And that's Valis' gold income. Valis has to respect this. This is right on the doorstep. So if Dark keeps hitting this, Valis may make mistakes with his push. Camel's about to change back, and oh, he does change back. And, well, now the camel is going to die. The rest of the camels might die as well. A messy situation for both right now. Man, I would go as far to say that if Valis got this wall down, if this wall was down, I think he wins this game. I think he's pushing the middle with everything. His eco isn't as bad. He's got the relics. Things are good. The fact that Dark denied that and immediately followed that up with his own wall and is now sneaking stables is crazy, dude. Just crazy. I thought he was so dead. He can't take his gold here, which is a problem, but he does have gold in the back. He's getting chemistry now. He's getting heavy camel, and he wants to have hand cannons and camels. Hindustani hand cannons as well can get crazy range with the Shatagni tech. And that is within reason, I would say. I mean, look at this. Valis is building a castle here instead of forward because this push... He can't justify defending with army here because then he can't push. He has to push. At least he recognizes that. And Cavalier are through. Can Dark hold this? He's got a 30 villager lead. But that's a rough fight for him. There's a lot of pressure right now. Valis is going to need murder holes, actually. Because otherwise the castle will go down. Halb Paladin has a really good timing here. Once it gets up to 20 hand cannons with the camels, it becomes a problem. But before then, camels can't really engage if Halbs are out. TCs are going down from Dark. This will be the second TC he loses. And Valis needs murder holes. This castle's lost 1,000 HP to these units. That's no joke. The camels run directly into the Halbs, which is a problem. Hand cannons pop out. Valis knows he needs to kill them. His Trebs advance forward. It's just easier to control Halbs and Paladins now. You patrol in, you fight, and you send the Trebs after castles. This is the right play from Valis. I don't know if it'll work. You've just gotta punch through here. You just have to get the job done. You just gotta win, dude. And look what the hand cannons have to do. They have to back away. And if you have to back away to hit and run, you don't take those Trebs, which means you can lose the castle. It's nice positioning from Dark at the same time, though. The hand cannons are still killing off a lot of the Halbs. He still has a decent amount of camels. This castle is still going down, and Dark is also massing Trebs here on the hill, so he will make a push for that castle. That castle might fall. So again, Valis needs to push middle. Dark, he still doesn't have the unique tech. I don't know how realistic that tech is going to be right now for him to get. He doesn't have a single armor upgrade in the hand cannon, so they're squishy. But they do have a lot of damage. It should be the better comp, camels and hand cannons. It's expensive, especially when you've lost this much eco. But his Vil count's still solid, and the castle for Valis will go down. And the units will be through. Wow, there's also walls coming up here from Dark. He lost his relics. He also lost his food eco. But he's getting Shatagni now. I think that, I mean, Dark's at 200 pop. Dark's getting raids. Dark has map control on the sides. This is a good position from Valis in the middle, but he's losing control in critical areas. Don't tell me Dark found the Treb with light cap and actually focused on that. That would be crazy if he snipes that Treb. Oh my goodness. Just unbelievable. Again, from Dark, I'm so impressed, man. I'm so impressed. His eco's actually good out here again. Like, he's fixing. He went down to, like, 10 on food because he lost access to 60 farms. So he's stabilizing his boom. He does lose his trebs here. Nice job from Valas. The golden comes not a problem for Dark because he has all that gold control on the sides. I actually think it's great that he's even stealing this gold. Even if he loses those vills, that's just gold that his opponent can't take. And the thing is, Dark's comp only gets stronger too. We still haven't seen Imp Camel. And for the Burgundians, their composition doesn't necessarily get stronger than this. So I think Valas needs... Again, it's weird, but you have to just ignore this. Like, wall it up and just push the middle. Like, you have to. You have no choice, I think. With 6 relics, maybe you feel like you do have a choice, though. 6 relics is definitely a difference maker, and we still haven't seen Dark get his other relics back. It looks like he's about to. We'll see if Dark can get Imp Camel. He's got Siege Engineers for his Bombard Cannons right now. And now Imp Camel's on the way, so 90 seconds away. It's just so tough to engage against these handkins. They got so much range. They hit you from so far. And the thing about hand cannon, too, is they still do high damage output enough to kill off some paladins, too. It's not like they do nothing against paladins. It's not like going skirmishers here. So the hand cannons are wedged in between the houses. They are on the front lines, though. So we'll see if this ends up being a good fight for Dark. I think it will be. There's a lot of Halb versus Camel action. So it makes me think that the fight could have been better for him. And yeah, it absolutely could have been better for him. Still not a single armor upgrade on those hand cannons. And Valas is back in it, baby. He's bringing his trebs in. He saves that one. And here comes Valas with a forward castle. And this was like the final attempt until the composition got more difficult to deal with. The final moment for Valas. But he stabilized his eco. He got to 130 vills. And look at the spam of paladins and Halb. The hand cannons can't group up. The camels can't group up. This might be over, guys. I mean, Dark stabilized it before, but look at where he's producing from. He's producing from the stables and ranges. They're all spread out. This group of paladins would be so strong against any units that eject. And then the reinforcements are coming in. What an important victory for Valas this will be. It looked like that Dark had stabilized it. And anyone who said Valas is rusty, this is another game to remind you, he's really good, dude. He's really good here. I would have so lost from this position every single time once the side of my base was vulnerable. Once I lost all that eco. Once I was down by 30 vills against 9-range hand cannons and camels. Like, but again, we say it all the time. It's like, Paladin Halb is 10 times easier to micro because you just patrol it in. And the hand cannons have to be babied. The hand cannon micro has to be perfect. You can't necessarily engage with the camels on the front all the time if the Halbs are there. It's super tough to micro. Dark went from 200 pop to 85 pop in a minute and a half. Valas has full control now. He can get all the relics. He could start to push this castle down maybe. Dark is stunned right now. And surely this has got to be another win on Valas for Fortified Clearing, which has been the map for him so far in this tournament. Against freaking Andy in the first round, that was the same deal. His only win there was on Fortified Clearing. I would be shocked if Dark can come back from this. This will be a frustrating one for Dark because it felt like he had done a lot of great things. And that if he had a little bit more time, he probably would have won this, right? But Valas, he hit right before Imp Camel came in, and it was just that one fight. Dark maybe needed a little bit more patience, but that's the thing. You cannot have patience if your opponent is coming forward and dropping a castle in your base on your face. You have to engage there. Like, if he backed off to take a better engagement than he did there, think of how far back he's falling and what he's giving up. So, like, I'm going to go back to the fight because it was an important fight. Like, I'm thinking here it's GG, right? With Imp Camel on the way. But this is the final opportunity for Valas. He's got one shot, one opportunity, and, you know, there's mom spaghetti on sweaters already. And so what he tried was hand cannons wedged there because they couldn't get grouped up around, which I think is understandable. But, I mean, in hindsight, he needs to have, like, the camels in front. But then you got to back, like, super far up. The problem was his camels engaged against the Halbs. But, okay, you don't want the camels to engage against the Halbs. Then the hand cannons and everything has to go back, like, super far back. And if you do that, the Trebs take out all of your base. And then you're separated from your reinforcements. Like, it's not super easy to look at that and say, oh, that's just a bad fight from Dark. He needed better micro. Yeah, but micro where? Into the back corner? Like, this is super intense stuff. So, I think Dark will be disappointed there. He played a really good game, but a beautiful win from Valas. That was great. It definitely was about to hit that point where his comp was just way worse. And that push early imp was crazy. To even consider Paladin against Hindustanis is crazy. He was behind by a lot of villagers. And he was able to still collect more resources in the end. One point, he was down 30 vills. Beautiful. So it scores 1-1. The next game will be on Dark's home map. And yeah, I'm really impressed with both so far, man. In the red, we got Valas playing as the Malay. And this is the civ I kind of expected him to play. I actually thought there was a slight chance that he would go for Cumans here. But he chooses not to. And then Dark goes for Chinese, which was the civilization he drafted first. And this also was the civilization that he used up against Viper when he beat Viper here. So Chinese have looked amazing so far in this tournament. And for Platinum, we added 3 global bans for both players. Again, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see a situation where Chinese were banned. Valas actually had first pick. And with Valas' first pick, guess what he picked? Burgundians. So he won with the Burgundians. So he's not going to complain there, but now he's got to face the first pick Chinese. Rocky Forest, you can't wall on the rocks. So full walling the middle is now possible. And I'd expect both players to just push deer, honestly, in the early stages here to go for the super fast up times. Malay need that extra food. And then the Chinese definitely need the extra food because they start with 0. But I think... I just thinking here, like... If Valas just brought a Vil and his scout forward to just stop any deer from being pushed, would that not make life a little bit awkward for Chinese? Now, makes life awkward for yourself because you send the Vil forward. But I'm thinking about this because Barles... Like, Barles has been playing Mezzo here. He did it in both rounds. And he would have his Eagle camping this, and he would stop people from pushing deer with the Eagle because the Eagle's stronger than the Scout. So that might be something to think about. Like, playing Incas or Mayans or Aztecs here isn't something I would really expect. I also am not expecting Dark to be on so many trees right now. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, maybe there's a world where we'll see some funky stuff to stop the Chinese from pushing in the deer. Because if you don't get any deer with Chinese, your build is very delayed. So, also builds looked a little odd here for Dark, but I think he's figuring it out. And there's the lumber camp for Valas. Probably the best lumber camp he can place because of the rocky terrain. We did balance it out though, so you should be able to build a good lumber camp pretty much everywhere. Hitman. Sorry, his name is not Hitman. His name is Hi, my name is David. Hitman David. Who knows? Maybe when he executes a hit on somebody, he does say, "Hi, my name is David." Thanks for the 17 months. E1C1D, thank you for the new Prime. Dino Bob, Anami, Jay Wood, what's up, guys? Thank you. Welcome back. What makes Chinese strong is the additional Vils and the cheaper techs. That's before you talk about the tech trees. So look at the difference in resources collected already. So that's what, about a 10% difference for Dark? Just because he's been able to maintain an extra, the extra Vils. And it should be a couple hundred resources by the time they make it to the next stage. Now, for average players at mid elo and low elo, their idle TC is probably going to hit something like a minute. And so then that means you haven't been producing as Vils as consistently because your eco's not as smooth. But Dark having 16 seconds of idle TC is crazy good. I'd say the expected amount and a really good game with Chinese is like 20 or 25 seconds. But when they added the auto drop-off feature, it actually made Chinese better. And that combined with giving Chinese the extra pop space from their TCs meant they don't need to have even a single villager building a house as early. So Dark goes up 20 pop here. Wow. Now, the Malay advance faster to the next stage. And so since they're not advancing as fast, they actually catch up in the Vil count. But that doesn't pay off just yet. So Malay can actually, if let's say players don't kill any Vils here, Malay will actually have more Vils than Chinese come Castle Age. It's kind of a fun matchup in that regard. And Valas should be looking for the opening in the trees. That's where his opponent will be. And he's going to go Militia here, which we saw the other day is really strong. Malay also get the free armor. So I don't know how much that extra armor you get instantly in Feudal is helpful for Militia, but it is something. And Dark is up already. Valas is about to meet him there. And we have an Archer opening from Dark. Wow. Archer opening on berries too. This is a crazy build order. But does he know about the Militia? When you push in the deer and you go for that greed, you don't get good information. Any other map, you wall that. You cannot do this here. Even the timing he sees the barracks doesn't necessarily mean Militia. And here they come. 3 armored Militia. They're not man-at-arms, but there's also the scout. This should be really tough for villagers to kill this off because of the extra armor. That villager is trapped. That's 1 villager down for Valas. That, in my opinion, already makes those Militia worth it. That's before we talk about the potential that these could have to delay and the idle time and all that. And now Vil count's pretty much even. A nice momentum here for Valas. He also knows his opponent's on archers, so he can drop the range and go for skirms now. Now, if he would have been able to get man-at-arms, which he didn't really have the res for because he was up so fast, that would have been crazy good. I like the patience there from Valas. A lot of players go for the extra Vil kill, but you're probably not going to get it. Getting the HP off the scout is helpful so you can go skirmishers now. And now just needs the farming eco behind for the food income with the berries. Wood eco is looking all right. It's rocky forest, so it's not pretty. And Dark will advance forward with his army now. Tower from Valas. So this tower blocks the front. Now, there's still the pathway this way, but that's not really that important. We've seen a lot of early towers, and I like the move. I think it's a really smart move. A Dark Spearman got the hit on the scout. That's a 1 HP scout now, so that scout can't contribute in any fights. But close game. Chinese with the slight lead with resources collected, but when you're up against Malay... Malay usually can beat you to the Castle Age. I really like the farming setup for Valas too. He was much faster to that. But the farms will also have a lot more food on them for Dark. Okay, Scout's dead for Valas. So I think Valas was just about to scout the back of his base. So he hasn't seen the army in a while. So he's kind of waiting. What he's done is he's built a tower in a position to block off any pressure. But now it's like, if he moves out, Dark can spot him, and Dark's waiting for him. So Dark is going to be aware of that. And Dark is going to the outside. This is where Valas needs an outpost. You really need an outpost like right here with Town Watch. And then you should at least have a heads up. And there's Town Watch. We'll see if he builds an outpost. But this is all smart plays. His buildings will still get more vision even without the outpost. But what does Dark know about the wood line? Ah, okay. So he doesn't actually know where the wood line or the gold is, funnily enough. Because he didn't have the scouting intel. He did just catch a glimpse of some ranged units there. Here goes Dark. And then Valas' point of view, he's waiting, which is good. It's gotten too quiet here. And yeah, Town Watch is in. He sees the archers. He pulls away from gold. Man, that is so good from Valas. That is so good. Great. Just smart gameplay. Just really thinking it through. And great play from Dark as well, obviously, to go for the sneak in the first place. But how many times do you see somebody be surprised in these situations without a scout? Now, that is a new scout from Dark, and Valas should notice that. That is not the old scout. So, I think Dark was expecting only skirmishers from Valas, but it's going to be archers and skirms. This eco from Dark, though, is looking really nice behind this. I mean, that many farms with Chinese is great. He's taking no damage. And his armies are kind of split up from each other. But if he can group this army with this army that's looping back, this could be really strong here. And Scout sees that the walls are coming up. Armor is coming in for the Scouts. Valas is back on gold. So all the pressure gets funneled towards the TC or towards the tower, except for that one area of the wood line. Some players are just really good at this, like making it difficult for the opponent to do damage. Valas has done a pretty sick job here. But Dark is committing big time to this. Bloodlines is on the way too. I don't know, though. With the tower, with there being archers here, it does still come down to micro. Bloodlines and armor's in. Valas won't know this. Valas needs to be careful. He'll lose an archer. He'll lose another archer. This could be dangerous. The tower might not be enough. He tried to get a quick wall. He doesn't get it. Dark is getting what he wants here. Dark wants some good value from this army. He's underneath the tower. And he's to the wood line now. And just like up against Viper, Viper tried to play tower defense. Viper was a little later with some of the armies. Dark's finding some kills. This is not GG, though. This is good defense from Valas to fight off some of the scouts. There's still skirmishers and archers here. He lost, what, 3 vills? But will kill all the army, and this is melee we're talking about. Nice job from Valas. That could have been so much worse. Yeah, I'm already seeing that Valas is just like 10 or 20% sharper than he was in his first series in TTL. That was clean compared to what he was up against. That was a big investment from Dark. And now, like, you toss away your army to kill that many vills. You now need constant army to stop this army from killing you. So, yeah, this becomes a problem for Dark. Dark's not on the way to Castle Age. Valas is on the way to Castle Age. Dark might need a tower here. But what do you tower? Do you tower your gold? Or do you tower your wood? You need a tower on both. Wow, he actually sold his stone so he could click up. Small follow-up army here. Maybe Dark could engage on that. But I think Valas just spotted that. He wants to keep these units alive. Classic melee, by the way. Classic melee. It's like you reach the Castle Age. Lightning fast compared to your opponent. But sometimes you don't have the army mass you really want. Just because you don't have as much time in Feudal Age to produce. I think Valas can actually be more relaxed than he may be here. I think he can fall back, wait till he gets these archers in the group, and then move forward. There's this tendency to just go hit immediately. But this attack needs to be... You can't be losing your numbers here, right? And Dark is patrolling around like he wants to snipe reinforcements. So 2 to 4 archers running forward on their own. They would not be able to do enough on their own. Now, the scouts can make it right through. Ooh, I like this from Dark. This is really good from him. Also, while it's awkward for Valas, it's also the right play for him to not engage against us with his crossbows. He can't, even though he's taking losses, you just can't do it. That's really good value from Dark scouts, though. You gotta go kill right now. Now, look at Dark. So he knows he needs army in defense. He'll drop a tower here, and he's dropping another tower. He just bought the stone. He bought 300 stone to get the towers up. So now that the tower's up, can Valas advance through? There's also skirms here from Dark. Dark, good micro. He's out-teched right now, but he just needs to kill off the crossbowmen. It's still pretty costly losses, honestly. But he needed to survive, and so he does. Wow, this is great, dude. Valas can't build the second TC, doesn't have the stone because of towers. Dark can't build the second TC, doesn't have the stone because of towers. So Knight, I think that was still very well played from Dark. The fact that he killed Vils and his opponent did not, and the fact that he's now basically stalled out this push entirely is really good for him. It was a bit expensive there, but his eco's ahead. He's playing into elite skirm against crossbows. The scouts may run right over to this gold as well. This could be at a really awkward time for Valas. It's not every day that while I'm casting, I can pick up on this ahead of time. But this is going to be an active micro scenario in the middle. If Dark synchronizes the attack here with the scouts on the gold, let's see if Valas notices. Yeah, it's like at the same time. And Valas is not picking up on that. Now, oh, hold on. Valas is also attacking here. So, because of his own attacks, he's not noticing. This is why I don't counterattack myself, guys. Because then I won't realize I'm being counterattacked. Oh, no. There is a difference. Dark did notice. So, Dark actually pulled some Vils away. Oh, man. Those scouts killed 7 Vils. And, okay, now it's spotted. Well, advantage to Dark after that. And advantage to Dark with this as well. These skirms could end the game right now. There's no defense for the skirms. There's Mangonel on the way. But these skirms are fully armored. They have full attack. And Dark sees Vils. The elite skirmishers could definitely kill villagers. Oh, man. The scouts are back on the gold as well. Valas has to deal with that. And, okay, key moment for Valas to survive. He needs a big shot. He's aiming for it. He'll land it! Oh, man! Oh, man. Oh, and another one. All right, well, this is still a game. If Dark had a little bit more time, then you never know, right? Man, Dark killed 16 Vils. That's brutal. Yeah, I mean, it's still really good for Dark. Now Dark needs to hold from this army, though. Right now, Mangonel crossbow is actually something that could get value against him. I don't know. The eco, though, from Dark, he's getting +2 for Knights. He's still got a pretty big skirm count again. Like, he's on 12 skirms after losing that whole group. He's done such a good job of consistently producing. The crossbow mass isn't enough here to stop +2 armored Knights from diving to kill the siege. And once the siege is gone, the crossbows are gone. Valas will know he has to try something. And there is his second TC. I love how active Dark is to delay his opponent from advancing forward in those situations. Like, that's all intentional. He's shown his army multiple times to get Valas to... Valas, wrong Finn player. To just stop. And now he is able to get his siege workshop up. And so now there's no danger, really, that Valas can advance through here. Really good stall tactic. And he's just playing confident. Like I've been saying. More skirm production, more knight production. Siege now as well. The woodline for Valas can actually be ranged so easily here. So Valas is trying to turtle up a little bit. And maybe get a bit of a boom going. But it's going to be a boom without wood. Kind of an awkward situation to face up against there. It's only on this map. Oh, Dark is going to run through. We know where he's going. He's going right back to the gold. He thought about diving with the skirms, but he saw the mangonel, so he wisely backs away. Valas with the quick walls. Crazy quick walls from Valas. Oh, God, but the knights are making it through. Uh-oh. Your mangonels are in trouble here. Attack round? Ooh, it's a good attack round. I think Dark could still at least take one mangonel. Think of the idle time, though, for Valas. That's still... Ooh, wow. That was crazy from Valas. But still, the idle time's insane. It doesn't matter how cool those quick walls look. That's still not eco that's working. That's still focus you have on trying to keep villagers alive when you're really far behind there. And Dark wisely backs away. This knight's... Oh, man. Knights are wrapping around the south now to pressure that gold. Yeah, Valas needs... Right now, I think Valas just needs to push force the issue in the middle. This type of game is just going to continue. Now, he could easily lose everything he has in the middle, and it might look bad, but I think it's the only way. He has to try. He needs good micro. Now Dark is going to dive. Like, the army has to do something right now for Valas. But Dark's attack round there was fantastic. The army's massacring here. Split micro from Valas now. A shot lands for Dark. And Dark's Knights will dive and kill one Mangonel. Oh, man. Dark is just everywhere, guys. He's just everywhere. Dark is lighting up Valas at the moment. And Valas is trying. Again, I think this is the only way he wins. He has to try. But the losses are too great at home. And the defense from Dark is good enough in the middle. He should be able to put a stop to any counterattack. His eco's flying behind. And I like Valas' micro here. Valas' micro has been good. But it's just the sheer number of units that Dark is sending his way is just getting insane amounts of value. Look at the micro here from Dark. He keeps most of his skirms alive. Kills off the Mangonels. 53 seconds of TC idle time from Dark this game. Remember, because of the Chinese start, he started with 16 seconds. That is 40 seconds of not producing the entire game. 40. In this type of game. I am so impressed with Dark's performance. Easily, like, top 3 in terms of impressive starts for me in Titans League Season 4. At least based on expectations. I expected Dark to be good. I did not expect Dark to be this good. And I mean, tough moment for Valas now. It feels very over now. He hasn't even been 1 TC. I mean, he was for a while, but now he's going up. He was on 2 throughout that whole fight. His military upgrades have been great. His eco upgrades have been great. Been so impressed. And poor Valas, he knows he needs a win here. This would mean 2 wins after potential of 6. 2 wins after 2 rounds doesn't mean you're done. There's still 3 sets to go, but it definitely puts you probably at the lower end of the group. And he just wasn't able to keep up here. Will go for conversions, may get them. Doesn't end up getting them. Dark backs away. Dark, I think, will build a castle soon. Sometimes you see the castle where you cut through, so a castle here, but I would say a castle more towards the opening in the middle would make sense. And Dark is just being as patient as possible now. He knows he's got a big lead. What he doesn't want is to throw before that castle goes up. The Knights have to make it out of here. So 2 get converted. And that is a 1 villager castle right now. But he's still just waiting. Still just hoping that Valas doesn't have enough to push this back. And Valas is never really in a strong enough position to move back through the middle. He doesn't see the castle either. So I think if you see the castle, you'd maybe need to try and force an engagement. But how? Your army's just not good enough. Dark knows that castle's going up as well. He's building it with 4 vills. Big micro moment here, though. I mean, this castle gets denied. That's a pretty big issue. Knights just got donated to the enemy. They could snipe the siege. Castle's at 80%, though. The skirms are still here. The skirms still do good enough. And he doesn't really even need the siege now once that castle's up. He just can't lose. He can't lose the game if his opponent can't pass through the middle into that area. Oh, man. More knights are down here as well from Dark. More villager kills. And does Valas even know about that castle? He does not. You're kind of hoping. The score in-game tells you a lot now, but I think for a while there, Valas was kind of hoping that his opponent was all in, right? You're hoping the opponent doesn't have multiple town centers, maybe skipped some upgrades. He's using the market a lot. Like, you're just... When that much army's coming at you, you kind of feel like it's not going to be something your opponent can do for very long. But that was a beautiful game from Dark. I do think as well that it was a very good game from Valas. I actually think the key moment of the game, and it's so difficult to do, but it was the moment here where Valas is about to click up. So like right when he clicks up to castle, what happens here is crazy. This whole 2-minute span is definitely worth a rewatch if you guys have the time. Like, well, screw it. We have like a minute. Let's do it. So I think this is before the scouts get value, right? So his scouts... So first off, he goes for the double tower when the army's about to come in. So right about Yeah, right about here. So he distracts constantly with the scouts. Valas can't move forward because he doesn't want his reinforcements to be picked off. The scouts just dive and get good value. And then it's like, okay, Valas is doing the right thing. Valas is moving forward. Valas is going to pressure with the faster castle age. Dark recognizes this, and he goes for the double tower defense at home. The fact that Valas had all this army and a 2-minute castle age advantage, he didn't get a single villager kill with it, and he lost 5 was crazy. Like, look at Dark. He knows he's up against crossbow. The positioning of the skirm, the micro there to just buy time, stall. Valas finally tries to force the issue a little bit, and there's a tower up, and then eventually he makes it back here, and there's another tower. Like, that whole span felt like the most important stage of the game there from Dark. I'm really impressed with this player, guys. He wins 2-1 again. So we'll pull up the group. We then have another series, the final series in this round for this group coming up in a second. So it's more important to look at it. But Dark, definitely one of the hottest players in Group D so far. Really impresses me. It kind of feels like, yeah, I mean, no one else has shown me that level except for Hart in the group yet. Let's look at the group real quick. Now, normally normally games are covered in different orders regardless of how you're watching it, because we just upload it to YouTube based on when we cast them. But the cool thing is the very next series, we see Viper Hart. So, and we're still talking about the same group. So Dark looks good. Dark also will be very disappointed. He would have loved to have won that second game. That was very close. It was very winnable for him. So this is what Group D looks like. After 2 rounds, Dark has 4 wins. Andy has 3 wins. Daniel has 2 wins. And Valas has 2 wins. Will be fun to see. Eventually, we got Daniel Dark in the 3rd round. We got a bunch of big sets. The next series, though, to complete round 3 in Group D is Hart and Viper. Viper currently bottom of the group. He lost 2 games to Dark as well in the first round. And then Hart came out firing in TTL so far and won 3-0 against Daniel in his first round. So this is a big one. I predicted Viper would be first in the group and Hart would be second. Right now, Hart is second and Viper is last. And so I expect a higher level from Viper than maybe what we saw the first round. But yeah, this is pretty crazy that, at least based on form, Hart is maybe looking like the favorite coming into this. So I'm hoping that we see a different Viper. I'm hoping that Viper looks at that and is like, hold on a second. And he's going to bring his very best here. But these days, dude, like the very best from Viper and the very best from Hart, I think it's quite close at times.